Friends, the key to prosperity in life is honest relationships. Today, I'm going to talk to you about trust, relationships, and the meaning of trust and how it takes you through life or it doesn't if you don't have trust and an honest relationship. Why I want to talk to you about trust and honest relationships is because it's a very important part of life which we all go through. Is when you do a deal in business, when you have a relationship with your wife, your girlfriend, when you have a relationship with your children, your friends, your social circle, especially business, it's all built on trust. And when you break that trust, you pay for it. And if I have broken the trust of my relationships, I have paid for it. And if the people whom I've had relationships with, or a business or otherwise, have broken my trust, have paid for it. And coming back to that is again karma. In some form or the other, the power above makes you pay for everything that you've done wrong or right, and you pay for that in whatever form it is we talked about earlier. Coming to trust in relationships, I have a very good example of something that happened with me in my life, which I want to share with you, just to give you the idea of what trust means. This topic today is I'm going to discuss with you as an example of a topic about my mentor. And the person who mentored me, not like a class teacher or anything, he was a businessman whose name was Mr. Batra. Now, Mr. Batra, I think a lot of people know about, who have lived in India, especially in Bombay, who was one of the elite businessmen, an honest, straightforward businessman, and whoever came across him was his fan for life or became his fan for life, and I was one of them. I had the good fortune of knowing him. How did I know him? He came through my family contact, my father's contacts with, when partition happened, 5 people came from Pakistan. One was Professor T.M. Advani, Ram Panjwani, J.C. Jain, D.D. Punjabi, and my father and uncle Balla. They were living in a small place in Mahim where they all struggled, everything. And cutting the story short, 2 of them, Professor T.M. Advani and Ram Panjwani, put up a college, Jain College, which is still there, became the principal. Ram Panjwani was a professor and a singer in Sindhi, very well known in the Sindhi community. J.C. Jain, my mama, became General Manager Times of India, and I've already talked about him. Filmfare magazine, Filmfare Awards, everything. And D.D. Punjabi and my father and uncle, between them, they bought a company. They bought 2 companies, or got hold of 2 companies. One was called Bandbox and the other was Unique Printing Press. So Mr. Punjabi asked my dad and uncle that, what would you like to have, Bandbox or Unique Printing Press? He said, Bandbox is what? Bandbox was the biggest brand of dry cleaning laundry services in the country. It was a brand name, Bandbox. So they said, we don't know nothing about dry cleaning, laundering, so we will take Unique Printing Press, which is a printing press. So they took the printing press and he took Bandbox. Now he had a daughter called Jamna. And Jamna used to play tennis in CCI club, and I think that's the time when Mr. Batra came into her life and they met, they got married, and he got Bandbox to take care of as a son-in-law, and he made that happen, and Bandbox became a big name and he worked very hard and he became a big name. And after that he did tremendous things in Bombay. He became a builder, a developer. He made the Samudra Mahal, He made the Wankhede Stadium. He started the Chinmaya Mission. He did the MSLTA, the Maharashtra State Lawn Tennis Association. He was a social worker, a do-gooder, and handling his business and everything, and also was with the RSS, which is now the BJP. He was also a member of the RSS. Now I happened to come across him because of my family, and I met him when I had just got kicked out of my Sabharwal situation, and after the Siba Bayer and Sabharwal situation, when I was in the middle doing, I didn't know what to do. And I have a friend in Delhi, when I used to visit Delhi. His name is Mr. Kiran Kapoor, very close friend of mine, is still there, very dear brother of mine. And he is the owner, and they, as a family, is the owner of a company called Kapoor Lampshades in Delhi, where they had showrooms all over. And their main showroom was in Connaught Place. And he met me and he told me, "Yeah, Rajan, I want to open a showroom in Bombay." I said, "Okay. You know somebody?" I said, "I'll find out." So when I came to Bombay, I was sitting with Ram uncle, Batra uncle, and that time he was shutting down all his bandbox showrooms. He was closing down the company because I think he found it not lucrative. Too many competitors had come into the picture and whatnot, and he moved on to bigger things. And he had 22 showrooms. So I went to him, I said, "Uncle, I want to do." He said, "क्या कर रहा है?" "कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ." I'm thinking what to do. मैं, "Uncle, एक मेरा दोस्त है, he wants to open up a showroom for Kapoor lampshade." कहता है, "ये lampshade बेचेगा?" मैंने कहा, "ये lampshade नहीं है, these are chandeliers, very high priced chandeliers. Kapoor name is there, Kapoor Lampshade Company, but it's a very one of the best companies for chandeliers and lights." I said, "अच्छा ठीक है." He says, "You keep your finger on any one and it's yours." So I told Kiran, I said, "Come." So we saw the showroom, everything was done. We pointed out Kapoor Lampshade. We found out, zeroed in on Kala Ghoda and Linking Road. And he said, "This is yours." So we sat down and did all this. When it came to the final nitty-gritties of deals, I think that time they both met separately or whatever happened, I don't know. But they discussed something, and I think Mr. Kiran Kapoor must have told him that, how do we compensate Rajan? Because he neither does have the money nor anything, so how can we involve him and compensate him? So we said, we'll compensate him in monetary form by giving him something. And he's a good friend, and I think you should be happy with that. So Mr. Ram Batra got up to leave, and he left, trying to leave the room. And Mr. Kapoor said, "Batra Sahab, what happened? Kya hua?" She said, "Nahi, kuch nahi." He says, I have done this deal because Rajan is like a son to me. He's like family. I know his family. And if Rajan is not involved in this deal in some form or the other, there is no deal. I'm sorry, but I'm out. I don't think I can do this." So Mr. Kapoor must have thought that the relationship is different. So he immediately said, "Okay, we will think of involving Rajan. Let's think of a way and find out." So we decided that his company, Modern Home Bandbox, would give 1% or 0.5%, 1% from Modern Home share and 1% or 0.5%, whatever that was, I don't remember, it's too long ago, to me as my compensation, and that would be ongoing as long as this deal is on. So this was conveyed to me by Mr. Ram Batra that this is what happened. And he says, "Beta, you take this in writing now, because tomorrow I may be here, may not be here, this may not carry on." I said, "No, uncle, I don't want anything in writing. As long as you're here, I trust you. It's my word." We're talking of trust here. We're talking of trust and relationships. Now, relationships was proved by Mr. Ram Batra when he got up and said, no, if Rajan is not in the deal, there is no deal. Trust is from my side when he said, get something signed on paper. And I said, no, I will not do it as long as you're there. He says, I may not be there tomorrow. You may not get it. I said, if I don't get it, it's okay. But it's on your word and trust that I am there. And that is what I'm talking about. Eventually, this all happened. And the company started. We had a big opening. Mr. Dilip Kumar came in. Saira Banu opened the showroom. Swami Chinmayanand opened the Linking Road showroom. And everything was honky-dory. We were all making money. I was getting checks of 50,000, 1 lakh rupees. I'm talking over the 70s, which was big money for me. Suddenly I've come into good money. And we're all happy. Now, what happened was subsequently, again talking of trust, there was a time when I felt that, you know, the ownership, this was a tenanted property. This belonged to Mr. Bell, who owns this Khaibar restaurant in Kalagoda. So this was a tenanted property given to Mr. Ram Batra when he had the bandbox showroom. He was a tenant. When you transfer the tenancy to another company like Kapoor Lampshade, the tenancy goes to Kapoor Lampshade, and again it's a question of tenancy rights. And in Bombay, if you know Bombay, once a tenant gets into a building, it's very difficult to vacate him. It's a big legal battle because 90% tenancy is ownership. So all this happened, and I just got some whiff of it that, you know, that tenancy rights could possibly be in problem tomorrow if the mindset of the people of Kapoor Lampshade changes. So I talked to Batra Saab and I told him, Uncle, I think we need to safeguard your rights of tenancy. How do you do that? He said, I have a lawyer, Mr. M.G. Kikla. Go and meet him and let's discuss this. So I went to him and he says that this is the way out for this, to protect your tenancy rights as the original owner of the place. And I did the necessary things, whatever it was, that, you know, you have to have the company, Modern Home Limited, the electricity bill, the water bill, the salary, the expenses, everything should be going through that company and then on to Kapoor Lamps after the money. So everything comes to Modern Home and then goes to Kapoor Lamps. So that system was worked out. And eventually everybody agreed, and that's how things continued. Cut to all this happened. One fine day, during that time, there was, I think, a split in the family, the Kapoor family, between the three brothers. And Kiran's brother, Deepak, got the Bombay showroom. And I think Kiran got Chennai, Bangalore, and Rajan got the export business, something like that. So the split happened in the family. And Deepak became the owner of the original Bombay showroom. All this happened, everything was fine, one fine day. And Mr. Ram Batra, I must tell you here, had a coterie of friends whom everybody looked upon. He had what we call the Navratan, like the Maharaja Akbar had. And those Navratans which he had were names, if I talk to you about them today, are big names. Rajni Patel, Dilip Kumar, Nasli Wadia, Sharad Pawar. You know, Sharad Pawar, Nasli Wadia, Dilip Kumar, Rajni Patel, and Maharaja Sindhya of Gwalior. These people all looked up to him for advice, as advice. And one day he took me along with me and said, come on, I'll take you. And I was shocked. I was in awe that there is all these big personalities who are sitting down with Mr. Ram Batra and listening to him and taking his advice. I was absolutely dumbstruck. I said, I'm nobody. I'm sitting there in one corner and thinking what these people are. And these are names which you all know how big they are. All of them, he used to look up to him for advice. You can imagine Mr. Ram Batra, one person, with a white bush shirt, white pant. He never drank in his life, never smoked in his life. And this is one person that I have seen with my own eyes. There were two garment companies with bandbox at that time. One was modern laundry, and there was another company. They both had a strike in their factories, and Bandbox was the only company which was supplying the laundry and services to all the airlines and everywhere else. And these two companies were on strike, which made his company the only person where people would come to. And one day I see these two people's owners sitting in his room, and he is trying to make up with both these people and break their strike so that the company starts working again and survives. Now, how many people would do? There are competitors, companies are on strike, and this man who stands to make up for everything would sit down and make them talk and settle their arguments and differences and make them work again. And I told him, I said, why are you doing that? He said, Beta, it's competition. Let them be. So I'm just trying to tell you the kind of person he was. This is just a brief. Coming back to this, all this happened later on in life. After that, when Mr. Batra passed away one day, there was a situation which came where the question of ownership of the property came in, and he suddenly, the owner of Kapoor Lamps, turns around and says that this showrooms are all mine now. Mr. Batra is no more, so the agreements are finished. And certain things happened which were very unpleasant, which I don't want to talk about. And how we turned around those things with the help of the people I knew and brought that situation back under control is another story which I don't want to disclose and talk about, because it's unfortunate that Mr. Batra is no more and Mr. Deepak Kapoor is also here, but he is, a very sad incidents have happened in their life where his son is no more and whatever else happened, which is what I feel very bad about. But all I'm saying is that it's a question of matter of trust, faith and intentions which pays off in life. If your intentions are not good, then there's somebody up there who neutralizes it by doing things in different ways and happens different ways without going into too much detail. These are all payback times. So that is what I'm saying, that I believe today the trust with which you shake a hand on a deal is more important than signing a written agreement made up with lawyers of 20 pages and sign has no meaning. I believe in that, I've lived by that, and I still live by it. All my deals that I do even today, because I've learned it from this man, all the deals that I do today, I shake hands, look into the man's eyes and say, it's a deal, it's a deal. Agreements we'll do later on, and I get working on it. And that's how I've lived my life. And I have never gone wrong because my intentions are clear, honest and transparent. If the other person's intentions are bad, dishonest or not purposeful or have a meaning behind it, that's their problem. And for that, they will pay for it in some form or the other. But me, I have dealt with that, and that's been my whole purpose of direction and doing business in life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, whether it's friendship, whether it's customers or whatever you call it. I have done this, and I have today sleep with my head on my pillow very peacefully, and I have no worries. And I sleep like a baby when I put my head on the pillow, because I have nothing to worry about, because I have done everything with a good intention, a good heart, and what is in my heart is in my mouth. I speak it on your face, and I tell you the way things are. If you like it, good. If you don't, it's your loss. So with that, I would like to end today's podcast and wish you all the best, and think about trust and valuing the meaning of trust and intentions. Your intentions have to be clean. If your intentions are bad or ulterior, somebody will pay for it. And if it's not you, it's that person. If it's you will face it. With that, I'd like to say bye-bye today. Thank you.